Imagine dedicating your life to climbing an invisible mountain, reaching the summit countless times, only to find the flag you need to plant is always just out of reach. Imagine the chilling echo of expectation, the whispers of doubt from the silent observing crowd, growing louder with every missed opportunity. This is the psychological torture, the dark, suffocating reality that haunted Caroline Wozniacki's incredible career, a tenure built on granite resolve and defensive genius. We stand now in the ghostly arena of her past, where every point was a battle waged not just against an opponent, but against the specter of almost. How does a player dominate the world rankings without possessing the brute, crushing power that defines the modern game? She did not wield a thunder hammer, she used an invisible, silken net, weaving an inescapable web of endurance and precision. What chilling dedication does it take to maintain world number one status for 71 weeks, all while the heavy shadow of a missing Grand Slam title hangs over every victory, tainting the champagne with the bitterness of incompleteness? Consider the sheer, unholy stamina required to turn every match into a marathon, forcing opponents into a slow, agonizing surrender, extracting mistakes like a grim reaper collecting souls. Yet, Wozniacki's defensive mastery was often misread, dismissed as merely retrieving rather than strategic genius. Was her defense merely passive, or was it a form of aggressive camouflage, luring the unsuspecting attacker into a fatal trap? Her mind, a terrifyingly efficient processor, constructed points like a master architect designing a perfect prison cell. Every shot was placement, an intelligent, relentless deployment of angles that slowly choked the life out of her rival's offense. This calculated attrition, this methodical dismantling, suggests a different kind of killer instinct, one rooted in icy patience rather than explosive violence. The whispers intensified, evolving into loud condemnations. She was destined to be the eternal bridesmaid, the perennial runner-up in the eyes of history. The pressure was a palpable, screaming entity, pressing down on her shoulders in every major tournament. Did this crushing narrative truly threaten to define her legacy, trapping her perpetually within the walls of great, but not Grand Slam great? She once signed up to run the New York City Marathon within weeks of a major tennis season, showcasing a chilling psychological need to push physical boundaries beyond the conventional scope of professional tennis. The breakthrough, the exorcism of the curse, arrived at the 2018 Australian Open. But the path to that final was a terrifying gauntlet, a near-death experience in the second round where she faced 2 match points against Jana Fett. Imagine the sheer, overwhelming terror in that moment, the final, horrifying realization that the entire career narrative was just seconds from collapse, seconds from cementing the failure others had predicted. Wozniacki became the first Danish player, male or female, to ever win a Grand Slam singles title, shattering a national sporting ceiling that felt ancient and unyielding. The truth is even darker. Her ability to finally conquer this fear, this hurdle, was rooted in a desperate and necessary evolution. As she matured, she did not just rely on her legs, she sharpened her aggression, injecting a potent, often hidden venom into her forehand that had previously been secondary. This surgical strike capability, deployed only when the stakes were highest, proved to be the chilling difference. Consider the intense, high-stakes psychological drama. How much sacrifice does it take to fundamentally change the way you swing a weapon you've relied upon for decades, all while the eyes of the world pierce your every move? The most terrifying realization, the climax of her career's horror movie, is not the victory itself, but the sheer, agonizing reliability she demonstrated throughout her career. From 2008 to 2018, she consistently finished the year ranked inside the world's top 20, a decade of unrelenting, terrifying precision. This isn't luck, it's a terrifying machine-like consistency, an engine of endurance that rarely faltered. The true horror isn't the failure to win immediately, but the agonizing length of time she spent maintaining excellence under an increasingly unbearable weight of expectation, constantly knocking on the door of history, hearing the muffled silence of rejection again and again. So, what is the final, shocking answer to the question of Caroline Wozniacki's terrifying success? It is simple, cold, and utterly brutal. Her career demonstrates that sometimes the greatest champions are not defined by the height of their peak, but by the sheer, unyielding depth of their professional suffering and the chilling fact that she achieved her ultimate goal while managing the early stages of a chronic, debilitating autoimmune disease. The relentless ghost of tennis history demands a new victim.